Central Asia holds vast reserves of critical minerals essential to the global shift towards sustainable technologies. This session will uncover how the region can harness its shared resources for mutual growth and stability. Visionary leaders from government and industry will outline their strategies for positioning Central Asia at the forefront of responsible and sustainable mining. Prepare for thought-provoking insights on policy alignment, investment initiatives, and infrastructure advancements, all crucial to establishing the region as a global hub for critical minerals.
Good morning, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to welcome everybody at this very important event. I would like to especially underline that today's discussion is dedicated to one of the most important areas in the future sustainable development, technological sovereignty, establishing ecosystem of critically important minerals, especially rare metals in Central Asia. Today's reality is fundamental changes in global economy, where access to rare resources is becoming a factor of national security, technological progress, and geopolitical influence. According to estimates of the international sources, the market of rare metals will grow 3 times, from 11 billion in 2024 to 33 billion worth in 2037. However, in absolute figures, it may seem not very impressive. The value of this importance is hard to overestimate. They are used in electronics, medicine, defense industry, green energy, and high tech. And today, also in the growing AI industry, and some of them are irreplaceable. Central Asia, which has not just huge deposits of critically important minerals and rare metals and minerals, but which is a center of attraction, gravity center for investments, technology, and strategic partnership, could play a key role in global striving to energy progress and energy transition. Growing demand for critically important resources opens to Central Asian countries wide opportunities for development and diversification of the economy beyond traditional sectors like agriculture or power sector. Investments into mining, processing industries can stimulate creating jobs, development of infrastructure, and transfer of technologies which would improve the attractiveness of the region. And Central Asia was in a crossroad of interests between China, United States, and European Union and other countries, which opens unique opportunities for economic development, growth, investments, and diversification. Same time, it opens risks related to technological, geopolitical, and other challenges. Today, we will see how to turn mineral wealth of the region into powerful economic and technological resources, how to secure inflow of investments, not losing control of our technological assets, how to provide for balance between the countries of the region and external partners, how to establish sustainable and competitive ecosystem of rare metals, and how to eventually turn mineral potential of the region into the source of long-term sustainable development. That's why I would like to invite our dear speakers to open dialogue. I'm sure that at the edge of interests between government and business, we will create these solutions which would establish a future region. Thank you very much for your attention. And now let us move to our panel session. And the first floor I would like to give to Mr. Ural Yusupov, Deputy Minister of Mining Industry and Geology of Uzbekistan, please.
Dear participants of MINEX Forum,
I am glad to see and to be in this MINEX 2000 Central Asia 2025 forum. And as you know, if we are talking about investments, I would like to give a short introduction about investments and development in this sphere. Why Uzbekistan? Uzbekistan and in general Central Asia becomes a central node, a strategic place among European Union, United States, and China, and it becomes a valuable part of this value-adding chain. And we are, and for investments, it's very important that we updated our legal base, our norms, and Uzbekistan and also Central Asia is the playing leading role as a valuable source of minerals and rare earth metals. And during last years, in 2024, we updated and strengthened our legal base. For example, European Bank of Reconstruction proposed some of the initiatives, and we adopted a new law on exploration, and for that we studied best practices of the European Union, of Australia, and other developed countries, and it gives a lot of preferences, and it strengthens investments in this area. Uzbekistan, if you look, of course, Uzbekistan is rich in mineral resources, and the total amount is around 3 trillion USDs. And Uzbekistan has rich gold mines. And besides, Uzbekistan has rich base of rare metals. And only 40%.
So this shows that we have very good opportunity to further expedite our activities. And also with regard to important critical minerals, our president, so with his initiative, we are carrying out a lot of activities. And Uzbekistan Technological Metal Factory was established. And also in that regard, we are carrying out the explorations. And also we are making sure that throughout the whole value chain, we carry out also processing and all necessary products. And also with regard to the product, the Uzbekistan metal factory. So more than 70 projects have been implemented in the last years, and also it will be going on till 2027 for the amount of 1.6 billion US dollars. So also processing of uranium is also powered within these projects. With regard to Uzbekistan, the critical mineral allocation in Samarkand region at Crucifile. So important minerals are used to also process and produce a final product. We have created necessary technoparks as well to produce it. At these technoparks, wolfram, lithium, graphites, molybdenum, these are the metals that we are using in order to produce the added value product for further trade. And also, we would like to invite other partners who would like to join this project. Uzbekistan, in the area of critical minerals, in we are implementing various cooperation projects. Currently in Uzbekistan, We have very important partners like China, EU, America, and also we are cooperating with many countries who have developed mining industries. The US and South Korea in this area, we have signed the agreements for cooperation. Using this opportunity, I would like to say that currently Uzbekistan, in online auctions, I would like to also talk about the reserves, uh, gold and silver, strategic reserves. They are also in online auction. It starts from mining to geological exploration. These are the areas where we carry out these activities, do investors. I would like also to call you to participate in these auctions that we have. And now I would like to welcome you at MINEX Central Asia 2025. I'm very happy to see you here. I believe that this forum will strengthen our cooperation further, and also it will improve our investment opportunities. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this interesting presentation. The next speech will be given to Mr. Toyboklar, EU Ambassador to Uzbekistan. Please, the floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to join you today at MINEX 2025, which has indeed become an increasingly important platform for shaping the future of mining in Central Asia and its role in global supply chains. This is a time of transformation. Around the world, countries are racing towards a greener, more digital, and more sustainable future. Technologies like solar panels, electric vehicles, and digital infrastructure all rely on one thing: critical raw materials. Lithium, copper, rare earths, they are no longer just commodities. They are strategic resources that underpin our climate goals, our economic competitiveness, and increasingly our geopolitical stability. In this context, supply chain resilience is not just a concept, it is a strategic necessity. In the European Union, we have made this a top priority. The Critical Raw Materials Act, which was adopted last year, sets ambitious targets for securing reliable, diversified, and sustainable access to critical raw materials. We have made a clear choice to de-risk, not to decouple, to diversify, not to depend, and to invest in building secure and sustainable supply chains. But no country or region can do this alone. The path to resilience must be one of cooperation, co-investment, and shared responsibility. That is why the EU is reaching out to trusted partners around the globe, and Uzbekistan is a key country in this effort. Uzbekistan, as we have heard today already, is home to vast geological wealth and a growing mining and metallurgy sector. And Uzbekistan has made it clear. We have heard a number of times already in the first interventions today that you are interested in being not just a source of extraction. You want to develop your own industries, create jobs and expertise locally, and move up the value chain. That is also what the European offer is about. We are not here to extract an exit. We are here for a long-term partnership, one that is rooted in investment, value creation, and shared benefit. For us, this is not just about mining. It is about processing, added value, technology transfer, and ultimately about creating opportunities for the Uzbek people. This is why the EU's Global Gateway strategy is investing in infrastructure, digitalization, and green energy projects across the world and across Central Asia, and why we are taking a holistic approach. We have signed memoranda of understanding with Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan on critical raw materials. And we took that cooperation further with the endorsement of a joint declaration of intent on CRM in the margins of the EU Central Asia Summit in Samarkand this spring. This will open the door to large-scale private investment across the region. And it is built on a simple but powerful principle. Your strategic autonomy is in Europe's strategic interest. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot build resilience by compromising sustainability. We cannot build supply chains at the expense of ecosystems and communities. Instead, we must create value chains that are not only strong, but also just and sustainable. This means promoting responsible sourcing and traceability, ensuring decent work and community engagement, and integrating circular economy principles from the outset. Our emphasis on ESG aspects is also what, I believe, distinguishes the EU among other players. We have the tools, the frameworks, and the commitment to shape sustainable mining practices together with Uzbekistan. To achieve this, we must act on three fronts: invest in local value chains, set global standards together, and build strategic alliances across regions. From mining to refining, and from research labs to recycling facilities, we want to work with you to build the full industrial chain here. That includes supporting training programs, innovation centers, and enabling the growth of local SMEs. Responsible sourcing, environmental safeguards, and transparency are not burdens. They are competitive advantages. Europe stands ready to cooperate on traceability, ESG compliance, and certification schemes that unlock new markets. Within the G7, the EU is working closely with partners like Canada, Japan, and the United States. But ultimately, true resilience comes from trusted bilateral partnerships. And that is what we're building with Uzbekistan. Ladies and gentlemen, Europe and Central Asia are writing a new chapter together, based not on dependence, but on mutual respect and benefit. Our partnership on critical raw materials is not just about economic interest. It is about shared security, shared values, and shared prosperity. If we get this right, we will not only secure the minerals we need, but we will build something far more valuable, a trusted partnership that benefits our citizens today and the generations to come. Let me therefore end on this idea. Resilience is something we achieve together. Uzbekistan and the EU have a unique opportunity to shape what a 21st century partnership looks like. One rooted in trust, responsibility, and long-term vision. I'm confident that the conversations at MINEX 2025 will move us closer to that vision. The EU stands ready to work hand in hand with Uzbekistan, with government, industry, and civil society to build the value chains of tomorrow, starting today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. It was a really impressive statement. The European Union have accumulated tremendous technology for processing in critical material industry. That's why I hope that with your engagement, Uzbekistan and the European Union can develop some program of cooperation, because there's a lot of challenges.
Dear participants of the forum, I would like to give the floor to the next speaker, Mr. Iran Sharhan, Vice Minister, Ministry of Industry and Construction of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Please, the floor is yours. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, first of all, let me share the words of gratitude to Uzbekistan partners for hospitality, and also for organization of this very important event for our regions. And this event is being held on a very high level, and I want to congratulate you with the first event of MINEX. I'm sure all today's beginnings will be successful. This forum is very significant for Kazakhstan in the conditions of our mutual interest to have one single position in many positions of external economy activities. Today, there is a format of cooperation in the consultative base of Central Asian heads to have the activities in the region. And the Central Asian is having different mutual dialogue platforms, C5 Plus. 1 week ago in the capital of Kazakhstan, the second summit was happening and where the president of Kazakhstan, Mr. Tokayev, said that actually and the region is becoming more sustainable and and also the subject of international relationships. I also would like to note our relationships with Uzbekistan, and today forum is Uzbekistan is a very good neighbor and brother country for us. Today, Uzbekistan, one of the key trade partners, with the share of Uzbekistan in the trade turnover from Central Asia is 57%. For the last 3 years, we have dynamic growth of the trade and the volume, the growth was and it was increased with the comparing to 2021 for 15%. The most exported goods are metals like steel and copper, and also like flour, wheat flour, and sunflower oil. We also import from Uzbekistan different metals. And in the sector of mining and it's one of the priority direction for us. Kazakhstan has also very big storage of wolfram, uran, and others, and also the leaders of silver, zinc, and other metals. And for us, it's also the big and it is creating new job places. In developing the region and diversification of economy. In 2024, the share of GMK in GDP was 8%, and the volume of the production was more than 15 million of tenge. The investments were grown for 13%, and in the future perspective, the realization of 5 big investment projects, including GMK, with more than $7 million of the USA.
And creating about 8,000 jobs. Today, with pride, we can say that for many years we are the key player in the world market in terms of production and supplies of metals such as titanium, copper, aluminum, zinc, and lead. Ferroalloys of beryllium, tantalum, and niobium. To enhance the existing potential, we need to actively develop exploration, mining, and we started this conversation with our Uzbek colleagues today. In Kazakhstan, we have implemented the model of hydraulic use based on the Western Australian experience and principle, which enabled to attract to mining and exploration investments of about $1 billion. Then Kazakhstan is open for geological mining in the area of 2 million square kilometers. and by 2026 we'll increase this area to 2.2 million square kilometers. We are working according to uh, international reporting standards and digitalization of data. Kazakhstan provides equal conditions to all investors. To provide for full automation of business processes, we have developed and launched to industrial use the integrated hydraulic platform, which is fully automated, transparent, and digitalized. In the nearest future, I can tell you in more explicitly, next week we are ready to announce more than 50 deposits with quite serious uh, minerals like gold and silver. Ladies and gentlemen, all these discussions, I would like to say that logistics, the president of Kazakhstan enabled to reach markets of China, Eurasian market, Middle East. We are interested to establish new transportation corridors and routes with our neighbors. Summarizing my presentation, I would like to stop at several things that we are currently considering cooperation with our neighbors in Central Asia in terms of critical minerals and metals. In our countries, geological reports are written in one language. Since post-Soviet Union times, all these reports are stored in our funds. We have similar characteristics, indicators, and presentation of data. At the same time, I would like to say that currently we have concluded digitalization of the processes of the mining materials, which is more than 56,000 secondary geological information and even more primary geological information and data. We actively implement or introduce AI in terms of interpreting of geological data, and I propose to establish certain hub which would open doors even wider to attract investments into this area. I think that this has a big potential for further cooperation and creating positive investment climate in geology, mining complex, and attracting high quality investors. Joint efforts in geological exploration, especially in the border areas, exchange of experience in government regulation. I mentioned earlier, we actively started reforms in mining legislation, and we are completing these reforms, and we are ready to actively cooperate with Uzbekistan. Close cooperation in ESG, including measures on recultivation, protection of environment. Joint work and uniting efforts of universities and R&D focus could be cooperation in processing technogenic minerals. We are actively doing passports of these objects. We have lots of them, more than 55 million tons. We are actively engaging these legumes into secondary processing, securing the raw materials, as well as secondary and primary issues of environmental reduction and coordination of cooperation, including dialogue under C5 plus frameworks. As a partner, as a brotherly state, we are ready to become coordinator in solving matters related to logistics export of materials from Central Asia to foreign markets. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that today's event would open new opportunities and constructive cooperation for our countries, would bring additional impulse to our good neighborly, brotherly relations. I would like to wish all the foreign participants our productive and fruitful work, and to our good friends and brothers success in having MINEX Central Asia. We are ready to work well during these 2 days. We are here with our team, and for our great joy, we have new impulse. So, wish you all productive work. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for the presentation. I would like to say that the delegation from Kazakhstan is very big, and especially participation of Mr. Ambassador is a big signal that Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan are two locomotives in rare metals, and your proposals deserve special attention. I would like to especially underline that during the Central Asian Summit, Italy, President of Kazakhstan, Mr. Kassym-Jomart Kemelevic, proposed to establish Central Asian Research Center on rare metals. I'm sure that this proposal was very timely, and the sooner we create that, the sooner we will get to objectives set by our countries. Mr. Ambassador of European Union, Mr. Clare had to urgently move to Shahrisabz. That's why he left us. However, I'm sure that Mr. Polikov would like to add something. Please, dear colleagues. Unfortunately, we have a lack of speakers, so we are moving to discussion. As I mentioned earlier, the discussion would be the following way. If you have questions, you have 15 minutes before the coffee break. Raise hands, you stand up, tell us who you are, who you represent, and whom you address your question. We have representatives of two ministries, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. So please, if you have any questions, please ask. In order for interpreters to be able to work and interpret, please wait until the microphone comes to you. Пожалуй, давайте я начну. У нас есть 20 вопросов. Может быть, модератору первый вопрос. Thank you very much. As it was mentioned, we have representatives from 27 countries and 40 companies. I'm sure they all have questions. In our discussion of 15 minutes, we can be filled in efficiently. I think the question which was discussed in the corridors of our forum, I would like to ask Mr. Ural Yusupov, how do you see the perspectives of regional cooperation, not just between our two countries, but also we have Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan. What format shall we envisage to proceed with regional cooperation? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Of course, Central Asia is rich in critical minerals, and we have those critical raw material bases are scattered throughout 5 republics. Maybe the reserves are not big, but all those countries, Central Asian countries, have those bases, those reserves. And of course, to create those technological chain, uh, uh, those countries should unite, and in that case, we will become, because we are in the strategic place between Europe and China, we will become a strategic hub in critical raw materials. And so it will be a unique hub even in world throughout the world.
And in the framework of this forum, our dear colleagues from Kazakhstan, we will also talk with them on that with regard to the critical minerals in the Central Asia, in the geological and also mining. We will be strengthening these activities further.
Hakan Arden from DMT Company, International Mining Consultancy. I'd like to ask the question to Mr. Yusupov about the Uzbekistan's preparation for the international alignment with their national code, especially he mentioned about the alignment with the job code or NI 43101. And I just wanted to know if they are planning to follow NIAN, the Russian code, which is already aligned with the CRISCO, but or is it going to be a different pathway to adopt the old Soviet Union classification into the CRISCO style template, which is going to ensure the international investors to come and pick up these resources and reserves as planned. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's very important question. In Uzbekistan, indeed, we are post-Soviet country. The main reserves are on GKZ standard. And also, many factories like Almaly, Navoy Metallurgical Company, Navoy Uranium reserves. So we are carrying out to unnecessary measures to switch to JOR standards. And also critical minerals. The JOR codex will be also used investors in that sense to improve the attractiveness of the mines. We are going to do GMT, SRK. We are carrying out cooperation with these companies and several others on that.
Do we have any other questions? Yes, we need to exchange information and create this permanent platform which would enable our countries to get more information about new technologies that are used in development, production, and processing of rare metals. You mentioned about active use of AI in Kazakhstan. How do you see the cooperation in this area? The world is not standing still. And now, in order to be competitive, we definitely must step away from old methods of processing, moving to new high-tech approaches, and it's not a secret for anybody that AI today is one of the new opportunities to bring new motivation in development of this industry. This goes along winds of time, and we believe that we must follow this path. And today, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation, We are actively engaged this technology into processing of all of our geological data, our exploration, geological expeditions that used to work under Soviet Union. We don't diminish their quality in no way, but in modern world we see that we must transfer it to accessible, readable language. Investors must get information as quickly as possible in the language they understand. That's why, given the fact that our geological data have similar approach as other former Soviet countries, we see big opportunities for AI for their interpretation and opening new roads for them to attract new investments and most importantly qualification and processing of hard elements as RZM, and we are working on that. In this connection, there was a proposal to join our efforts, our geological reports. One thing to work on them in the framework of the country like Kazakhstan, and another matter is to merge our efforts and merge our geological information and become a hub which would enable us to become maybe too loud to say uh, a big player. If we join together and follow this way together, we will get nothing but advantages. We have barriers, we have limitations, but on the expert level, our teams work together and continue to work on that. And I hope that we will establish this bridge and we will enhance this work. Furthermore, we have technical part and we have regulation part. As I mentioned, we went on reforming in a very active way, and in addition to technical part, we propose to join efforts in the regulatory part. We must present readable information to investors concerning both technical and regulation part. If you want to become a hub in Central Asian region and speak about ourselves on the world arena, we need to bring new basic principles, norms, and legislation as well. They must be similar among us. That's why I hope that our new initiatives would help us to become a hub, a word that somebody called us earlier, and we will remove all the possible barriers to include new technologies. So that's where we see a new vector in development of our relations. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think during the welcome speeches of the leaders in our ministries and leaders of our companies, similar intentions were expressed in terms of further deepening of international cooperation using modern technologies, increasing productivity and volume of output, expanding export potential in our countries and the region in general. And of course, it is very important, I believe, the development of international research, Central Asian Center, which Mr. Tokayev proposed in quite timely manner, and heads of our states also showed example how can we work together in high tech. A recent working visit of our president, Mr. Mirziyoyev, to Kazakhstan, when he visited Innovation Hub, Central Asian Hub on AI, which was developed in Kazakhstan, and also joint participation this year.
And GITEX Global on AI in Berlin. It was a forum and two teams, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. They were presenting and it was the head of this team was the Minister of Digital Development of Kazakhstan, and we must also see the role model of our heads and move forward. We have here over like 100 companies, and a lot of them from European countries, and they have very vast experience in using modern digital technologies in this field. And I think they can also make a contribution to accelerate this process in the region. And you mustn't forget that all very close. We have Afghanistan, more than $3 trillion dollars. They have also different metals, materials, and our countries also the partnership with the government of Afghanistan, who are very interested in partnership, and the countries who want to participate in Afghan territory without Central Asian countries, they cannot achieve their goals. That's why. As soon as we can have our mutual cooperation on using modern digital technologies and AI engines to have high efficiency production, then we will be more attractive to the high level investors, to big investors. It's important for us that the potential of Central Asian it will be really revealed because the Central Asian countries, they are landlocked countries. Specifically, Uzbekistan is a landlocked country. International term is a double landlocked country, like through two countries. So the added value is a very essential goal for our country. That's why today maybe a lot of companies who are present now and participating, they have this goal in the framework of B2B to share their interests, but also uh, we are not like a lot, but we are in like lucky shares. It's a Russian expression. We showed like high professionalism and opportunities for mutual cooperation with the countries of Central Asia and our big partner, and with other interesting parties. So time is changing very fast, and Central Asian is showing the example of openness and attractiveness to investments and mutual cooperation. And it cannot be always like that. I mean, the fastest will receive the biggest results. That's why I would like to wish all participants to forum success if you have no other questions, and also to achieve your goals. And we have like 5 minutes, and if there are any questions, you are welcome to ask.
Good morning, dear participants. I would like to give a question to our foreign participants. If the production raises, how are you going to recycle the waste of those productions? What are your views on that? And in the future, how we are going to solve environmental issues related to mining?
Микрофон не включил.
So my question is environmental questions, how we are going to solve recycling of the waste produced by the mining. Yes, so let's give.
I already mentioned a few principles and directions which we see before us, which we will develop, and it's 6 directions actually. And in my presentation, I mentioned, and the basis for this is the really expand our opportunities in the field of partnership of ideology of recycling, and the principles we actually have in Republic of Kazakhstan the high level of recycling, and one of the and also we have directions here in Uzbekistan, also our colleagues. And I also want to say that to work in the market as a is a journal, and the second one is to really have our opportunities, our qualifications, and knowledge, which we have experience. This is the one thing, and also particularly you say ecological responsibility, recycling, how we would like to solve this issue. So first of all, we have a big problem, like historically, because the technogen minerals, which we actually see. And if technologies didn't allow us to do it in the past, to really work out through the raw material with a like low level like ecology of the raw material for ecology. So now today, actually, technologies are very advanced, and we had a very big problematics in the like absence of information on the techno general mode. And the presentation of this object right now we are completing, and we will do the second recycle. So actually we will solve two issues: economical issue and ecological issue, expanding the raw material base. And of course, regarding the each component, there is a specific program. There is a recycling technologies and also investors who are actually now in the market. And in this field, we will also proceed the work on the expert level, and we see a big potential in partnership. And I would like to say one more time, we must really expand the borders of the market by having joint projects. And our heads already mentioned it. One side, when we work in the market, when we have 20 million people, or when we have market where there are 80 million people. That's why there's two basic directions which we are working out right now.
Ozgina qo'shimcha qilmoqchi edim. Texnogen chiqindilarini qaytarish va qopqon sanoatida ekologik normalarga rioya qilish bo'yicha albatta O'zbekiston texnologik metallar kombinati
Спасибо большое. Thank you very much. Regarding the recycling of technogen waste, yes, in the program of Navai mining complex, and in general in Uzbekistan, we are planning to recycle those waste materials in Almalik, in Navai mining complexes, and to recycle all those small amount of crucial materials. And in next few years, we will implement those programs. And regarding environmental protection, all the complexes, Navai, Navai Uran and Almalik mining complexes, they are implementing Euro bonds, and there are requirements during issuing those bonds on environmental protection. So I believe through modern technologies, we will facilitate the implementation of various recycling initiatives. And when we are talking about also using green energy, and all this will improve environmental situation.
Thank you very much for all participants of this session. And even if you didn't have answer to your question, you will have time later. Thank you very much for organizing this session. Thank you very much.